1488. This feels like how you would maneuver when you're home alone and you have nothing on the schedule and you're just wasting time. And it's just the mundanity of like just being in your own space. Um, I wanted to know the symbolism of the mailing of the origami. It wasn't clear to me what that symbolism was, and I would love to know what that meant. And the eye makeup I noticed was another feature. It was beautiful. And then at one moment it was grotesque. So I'm like, okay, what's the meaning there? Why do we have this like stark juxtaposition between her having this elevated eye makeup this whole time, and then all of a sudden like she doesn't? But that was one thing I definitely noticed. I'm like, oh, her makeup is on point. And then it's not now. So yeah, the inner deeper meaning of this piece I would love to know more about.
Originally, I thought 488 was a representation of kind of the insanity of that mundane repetition of life. But the message at the end definitely made it a lot more eye opening. I feel like the insanity part is still there, but now it's more. This was an emulation of what it feels like to live your life as a lab animal. And you can see it in the set dressing and just the location itself. It's a very white environment, and everything is there's a very controlled setting to it. And you never see our protagonists ever leave this setting. They're stuck in this setting, and they basically have to make the best out of this one room. Um, and I think that it's a good example of showing like you wouldn't like it if it were done to you, so this is what we're doing on to others. So I think 488 does a really good job of emulating that sensation of what it would be like if you yourself were in that environment.
488 was a really great story. It was a really layered story, a really symbolic story about the day to day and feeling trapped, but then also literally being trapped in like this sterile lab like environment, and being an experiment and just day in day out. I think it was really interesting. I think you did an interesting job with the set and the hair and makeup and the way you change them to symbolize passage of time, but also to suggest that this person is a symbol for something greater. I think it was a really interesting layered piece about feeling trapped and feeling stuck in like, yeah, just feeling stuck and having to do the same thing day in day out. It was a really interesting piece, a really layered piece, and really interesting to watch. I think I'll have to watch it again to fully grasp everything in it, but that's a testament to how intricate it was, and for that I want to say very, very well done.
This was a fascinating watch. I found myself really enjoying the aesthetic here, that sort of Cinebloom quality feel, just kind of dreamlike, but also really contrasting what we were seeing. Like, I didn't know, this had me wondering in the best way, really, what I was getting into, because the aesthetic was just such a contrast from what we were actually seeing on screen. So I thought that was a really, just a really smart sort of approach to it. Um, and yeah, I, as well as the that sort of aesthetic quality to it, the tangible assets, the art design, the set decoration, all that stuff was just really well done. Just really add that extra layer to this whole piece. Just really interesting art design. So I wasn't exactly sure what I was watching through the duration, but then of course at the end it becomes abundantly clear, and I thought, wow, okay, now having sort of seen what I've seen, getting the message at the end, this was a really effective PSA. I thought it was really well done, and I can only hope that its reach is as wide as the filmmaker's creativity, because it's an important message, and pieces like this can just really help spread the awareness. So great work.
This is an experimental and artistic approach towards animal testing. It gave a sense of a dreamy and ethereal world, noticing the origami bunny being folded together. The makeup looks are extra noticeable, and the extreme close ups that we have on our lead's face. She seems trapped in this room. At times, I think to myself, this is Rapunzel being trapped in the tower sort of situation. I enjoy the camera work being played with here, the play on the lights, the scene in the mailbox sticks out to me. It comes together with this uh, gaining an intimate experience with this character who we find to be a human representation of an animal being trapped for testing purposes, putting yourself in someone else's shoes and walking a mile, perhaps.